Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
No one big in the industry had ever like showed love to Griselda. Danny Brown was like the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and Benny was the one who told me that shit.
And he put them on?
Yeah, that's like when you really think about it, you're like, why the fuck did Griselda sign to a Detroit label?
Yeah. I never thought about that.
It's because of Danny Brown.
Wow.
Crazy
Benny
shit.
told you that?
Yeah, Benny told me that. Yeah. And if you like, it's funny because Danny's on Fly God.
He is. And that's a good song.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even know about that song for the longest time.
Me neither. I didn't know about that one and Vivian at the Art, Basel.
Oh, with Droog?
With Droog.
Yeah.
That's a great Droog verse, too.
Yeah. You did the Fahim cover. Did you do a Droog cover?
I did do a Droog cover. I did 2 singles for him so far and 1 album.
What was the name of the album? I can picture the cover. It's him in like a suit, right?
Him in a suit holding a cat. It was the Yod Father.
Okay. Bro, it's crazy to me. I'm not going to blow up your spot about like what school you go to, but like,
thank you.
Of course, but like you are a college student. You're not even 21 yet. I had no idea what I was like, who I was going to interview because I just loved your art.
Thank you. I appreciate it. How old is like Squat, for example? I don't even know.
Squat's like 540.
Really?
Yeah.
That's and Kip is...
Kip's like, yeah, probably 36. You're the youngest artist that I've met.
Really?
Yeah. Other than, do you know who Mr. Wright is? WR.
Yeah,
he's
a friend now because I've seen him at a couple shows. I saw him at like a Stove God show and a Rome Street show. He's a nice guy.
He's I think your age too.
He's 20?
Yeah, I think he's 20. But
have you done a podcast with him?
No, not yet.
Really? You should.
Yeah. Bro, it's so funny. I was listening to the Mavi album for the first time driving here today.
No way.
Literally.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I was a fan of him, and I had so many people tell me to listen to that, but it was kind of perfect.
I agree. It's for me. I'm obviously biased in a way, but for me, it's top 5 albums of the year, like easily.
And you did the cover.
Such a good album. I did do the cover. I can't believe it, man. It still doesn't like feel real to me. Because I had been listening to Mavi for like 3 years beforehand, ever since he dropped "Let the Sun Talk," which is another great album, by the way. Have you heard that one?
Oh yeah, I loved that album.
So good. But yeah, it was a crazy opportunity. I'm still like doesn't feel real to me every time I see it. But
how did it happen?
So last year when I first started my account, like 2 months in, I had like a couple hundred followers at this point. I just did a piece of Mavi. Looking back, I hate the drawing I did. It's a really shit. I hate like most of my early pieces, but I did a piece of him and he liked it, and then I think he followed me. I can't remember if he followed me right away, but he like showed love to the drawing, and then if he didn't follow me then, he ended up following me at some point, and then a couple months later, he asked me to do a merch design for him, or I reached out. I can't even remember. I think I might have texted him and been like, yo, if you want, like, you ever need work. Because I used to do that a lot. I don't do that so much anymore. But that's how I actually ended up doing work for Fahim, too. Was just DMing him. But, yeah, Mavi asked me to do a shirt for him. I did that. That was last fall. And then we just, like, stayed in contact. And this summer, at the end of the summer, I was in Poland. And I hadn't been drawing for like a long time. I was like taking a break from everything. And one night in Poland, like late night, he texted me. He was like, yo, bro, I need you. And when I saw the text, I was like, in my head, I literally said to myself, like, please be like an album cover opportunity. Because I had really wanted to do something for him. Because I knew he knew about me, you know what I mean? Like, so I always knew there was like a chance. So when I saw that text, I was like, please. And it happened. He asked me to do it. And then, yeah, everything just unravels from there. A lot of like back and forth with him, like talking about ideas and stuff.
Yeah, how did the idea of it come together?
He actually had like a really clear vision, like right from the beginning. He came to me with like a lot of reference pictures right off as soon as he texted me. He like flooded me with references, which were something I'm not used to, because usually like an artist will come to me and I have like a loose idea, obviously, but like they expect usually the artist to do a lot of the, the brainstorming and the like the vision building. But Mavi had just a very clear idea from the start, which was really cool. Just sent me hundreds of pictures, like hundreds of paragraphs telling me exactly what he wanted, and I just tried my best to capture.
How many trials did you have to go through before you came to the final image?
A lot. Like, dude, I felt like I was a nuisance at times because I kept sending. I'd be like, "Yo, this is the final copy. Like, I'm finally like good on it," and he was usually good on it. He never really. A couple times he would send me like tweaks, but for the most part, he liked the final product very early, which I was surprised at. But I just kept like chipping away at it and adding and adding and adding. And like every 2 days, I'd be like, "Yo, like this is the final copy. You could submit this one, even like we're good." And then I'd be a couple days, I'd be like, "Dude, you're gonna hate me," and then tell him a bunch of like.
How many times do you think you did that?
Oh, dude, if I could count a million, maybe.
How different does the original one look to what the final one?
So different. Actually, you could find because when he first released a single for it, I believe he used a pretty early version of the cover to release it because I think he had submitted it like I don't know the process, but the original single for the album had like a pretty early version of it, and a lot of like publications and Instagram accounts like took that cover and just kind of like used it as the default from there on. So you could still find a very early version of it.
When did you hear the album?
As soon as he texted me that first day.
He sent you the album?
Yeah.
Oh, so awesome. All right. That's awesome.
It was really cool. It felt like I was like VIP or something, but it was amazing right from the start. Like there was a lot of changes made to it from the copy he sent me to the final product, but like right from the beginning, I fell in love with it. It was all I listened to while I was in Poland when I came back. Just like on a SoundCloud. But yeah, an incredible album, dude.
I feel like it's some artists want the art created and don't let the artist listen to the album, and sometimes people like want it. So I think that makes sense.
It helps. It helps a lot. Like you'd be surprised at how much it helps. Just like choosing even stuff like colors or like certain like symbolism in the cover. Like I would like think about lyrics from the album as I would like draw the cover.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely makes a difference.
Is it hard getting that many requests, like not being able to?
It is, but at the same time, I'm very kind of feel like a dick sometimes because I'm very distant to a lot of like potential. I want to say clients, but like a lot of people that like want work or stuff. I'm really not good at responding, so I'm very I'd say selective about like the opportunities I'd take.
Yeah.
Because like last year, I'd say I'd be taking a lot more because I wanted to get my name out there more, and I wanted a bit more like money in my pocket. But now I feel like I'm at a position where I could take the opportunities that I'm actually passionate about, and not just like any project from any rapper.
Why'd you take a break?
I take a lot of. I'm on a break right now, actually. There's a lot.
Well, you are in college.
Yeah, like not even like I'm technically on winter break, but even like artistically, I haven't drawn in a long time.
No, I mean, but that does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on a break in both ways, but I haven't drawn in a long time. I take breaks a lot. I kind of get burnt out. I need to feel like inspired again. A lot of the stuff I had been doing in the fall, kind of felt too bland to me, and I feel like I'd been doing the same thing over and over. So I'm on a break right now. So.
What makes you said you just get burnt out?
Yeah,
you just don't feel like you get like artist block?
Yeah, in a big way. I'll like for example, right now, I have an artist who I had been doing work for, and like I needed to get one more final copy to them, and the one I was working on, I just got so like I had been working on it for too long, and it just got so like boring to me, and so I ended up just like scrapping the entire thing, and now I don't know where to start with it again, so I'm kind of like pushing that off to the side. But
it's crazy how prolific you are with not breaks, but like, where do you feel like your inspiration
I'm
comes
prolific?
from? Yeah, I do.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Music, like mainly, I just all the guys that I'm like doing work for nowadays, I listen to a lot, which is a really cool feeling. So it's just like I'm so into the scene that I'm doing covers for. So it everything just like kind of ties together. Like it's cool going to shows and like getting to meet these people because they're very small. Like I'm not doing work for anybody famous. Like, you know what I mean? Famous to a certain extent, and definitely to like me and you, for example.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
When people are like, oh, you have a podcast? Who have you had on? And I start naming people. They're like, most people are like, who the fuck is West Side Gun?
Exactly.
You know?
Like,
And
West Side Gun's the biggest you've done.
Literally.
Like,
He's one of my biggest inspirations in life.
Me too, man.
But to the normal person, they don't know who he is.
Yeah, which is crazy. Because for me, the dream is to do work for West Side Gun. Like right now, that's if I could choose anybody to do work for, it'd easily be him. And I bet for you, for a long time, he was like
It was.
So it's crazy.
It's funny. After I interviewed him, I almost like got depressed a little bit, like
Really?
for
Like
a couple
that
weeks.
You reached your peak.
Yeah, because I was like, that's
funny.
the person I wanted to talk to more than anybody, and then I do it, and now I finally found my like footing again. But for a little bit, I was like, damn, like.
It's only downhill from there.
But it's not, because
exactly.
there's so much other shit that I like. Like, it's cool that you enjoy different music. Like that Nudie thing that he just changed his profile picture to you. Nudie's one of my favorite rappers ever. Like,
really?
I got to see him in like 2015 when like no one knew who he was.
Mm-hmm. And so I feel like still a lot of people don't know about him.
Yeah, that last album's one of the best albums of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I told some of my friends about it, and they're like, "I'm gonna be honest, like I don't even know who Young Nudie is."
And that was an old piece of art.
Yeah, it was from last year. I don't know how we found it. And funny thing, it was archived on my page. I went to like unarchive it so I could post it on my story to like show people that it actually was my drawing. Because before that, if you had tried to look for it, it wouldn't even have been on my page. Because I didn't even like that drawing that much. So. I just deleted it. Well, not deleted, but archived it. I have like dozens of pieces in my archives at this point, and I wonder if any rappers still have like any of those, because you never know. Because I thought that Nudie piece had been like lost in the void.
What makes you take a piece down?
A lot of things. In the moment when I'm making them and when I release them, like last year when I put those pieces out, I probably thought very highly of them, and I know I did. I was very proud of a lot of them, but then as time goes on, as my style changes, I notice a lot of things that I'm just not happy with in old drawings,
but other people don't notice those things.
Which is really crazy to me. It's funny. A lot of the love that I get nowadays comes from my old pieces. Because I feel like I've gotten better as an artist, like my techniques have gotten better. I take more time with each piece. I'm more careful about like color theory, like shit like that. Like as an artist, technically I've gotten better, but the pieces I was making last year where I was just like kind of like doodling in a lot of them are getting a lot of like attention and praise, which is really weird to me because I feel like they were more simple and like I wasn't trying to do too much, and
there was less riding on it. You gave less of a fuck.
I did. I didn't give a shit, dude. I started that page as like for fun. I got an iPad for my birthday. I had been drawing my whole life, but I got an iPad for my birthday like 2 or 2 years ago or a year ago. I started the page in 2021 in March. And I just like started doodling on Procreate and posting on that account.
Just a bullshit?
Yeah, like I had no end goal. I had always followed, do you know Codone?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Codone. A lot of people like try to emulate his art style because it's so simple and so accessible to anyone. So I had always seen what he was doing, and I always like admired it, and I kind of wanted to give it a shot. But I at the same time I didn't want to be just another like clone of his. So I started just doing really simple things, trying to incorporate a lot of my like own style into it, but still keeping it like really simple like he does. And I did that for a long time, but I knew I was capable of more. So I just kept trying to like push myself. And it was just, I didn't have like an end goal. I didn't start the page with any particular goal in mind. You know what I mean? Just posting to post.
What was the first time you were like, oh shit?
That's a good question. Probably the Fahim cover. The first one.
Dump God?
Dump God. What is it? Shot Clock King 1. The
where
Scarface
he's
one.
like, oh no, not the one where he's doing the jump shot, where he's sitting.
I like that one.
Where he's sitting at the...
the
Scarface chair.
The sunset background. And that came from me just messaging him and saying like, yo, let me do some work for you sometime. And he didn't respond for a long time. I thought like it just got lost. But then he responded like 2 weeks later. And I think all he said was bet. I was like, okay. I don't even know how it continued. I was like, do you have an album? Do you have an album that you need a cover for? And then he's very blunt with everything. Like him and Droog are very like simple, like blunt responses. I respect. They're like they're very focused on like the end goal. But and then he just gave me the title. He didn't give me any. He just said like Shot Clock King. The cover doesn't even have anything to do with the name, which is funny. It's just a scene from a movie. When you think about it, it does not really make sense.
But the second one, it does make sense.
The second one makes sense. It's I never even like really thought about it, but there's no real progression, and like there's no. The first one is just like a one-off, random scene from a movie, and then the second one.
Why'd you pick that scene?
I don't know. At the time, I was just obsessed with Scarface. I got like a Scarface tattoo, like a couple months prior, and I feel like I had just watched it or something. I don't know why. Like as soon as he like reached out to, responded to me and said he needed to cover it, I feel like the first thing I thought of was like referencing Scarface for some reason, but I like that cover. I think it's pretty nice.
People don't realize. I don't even want to put this out there, but I feel like I should because this is a self-help podcast. If you have something to offer, you should not be scared to DM people.
Oh, 100%. I feel like
that's a proper way to put it. Like I'm not saying just DM everyone whatever, but
some people, they have nothing to offer and they're DMing up.
Exactly.
And that
don't send me music.
Exactly. I do not want to hear your mixtape. Do not hand me your CD.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, you're right. If people don't market themselves enough, I feel like, and I feel like people think it's like it's corny to show yourself love and like post your own shit on your story and like I think Tyler the Creator said in an interview, he's like, just keep posting your out. Like he said he was posting his previous album. I forgot what time this was, but his previous album, he had been posting about it like a year later. He's like still tweeting like links into his merch and like the album itself. He's like, just keep promoting yourself. Like there's nothing holding you back from doing that, and it's only gonna help. As much as like people may look at you differently.
Well, if the people who don't like you promoting yourself, do you really want them following you?
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
It's so funny. My grandma got so this is my grandma called me because I put a my grandma follows me on Instagram, and on Instagram one of my like captions was a quote from a Lloyd Banks song that said I want to read it because I don't want to fuck up the
Does
quote.
your grandma fuck with Lloyd Banks?
It's so funny. My grandma's like the most waspy woman in the whole world. But now, because of everything, like all her friends will be like, "How's Conway the Machine?" All these like nice old women, all like know all of it. And
How's
it's
Benny
so,
the Butcher?
Literally. I wrote, "My success will punish the negligent." That's
a good line.
And she was like, "Why are you making fun of people who aren't successful?" And I'm like, "That's not what that means. It means like if you get mad at it, then you aren't doing what you're supposed to. Like you should be inspired by what I'm doing, not mad at it."
Exactly. A lot of it just stems from jealousy.
Yeah, and I felt that too before I started on my path.
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course. I'll go back to who I mentioned earlier, Cadone, or not even just him, but any like successful Instagram artist that was doing something that was like, to me, so I don't want this to sound like a diss anybody, but like that is technically so easy because you know what I mean. Any artist who knows how to draw or like color can technically do what a lot of like Cadone and other guys are doing, but you look at them and you kind of get that feeling of jealousy, like because they're so successful and you're like, I could draw that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of it is just style and like originality. But yeah, I was definitely jealous of like a lot, even like Squat or Bernard. People were doing covers for like West Side Gun or any Griselda members. There's definitely jealousy there.
Yeah, but that's what you don't think motherfuckers feel jealous of you right now? 100%, 100%, and none of them even know you're 20 years old.
Yeah, I've never mentioned that. But
you don't think about that.
I really don't. I don't, because I'm very hard on myself and like.
You have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be.
I know you preach that a lot. But yeah, you definitely have to be.
Anyone could show up with this equipment. This isn't that crazy. This costs $600. You don't
anybody can buy an iPad?
You don't think any motherfucker could start a podcast? Do it. Exactly. Start drawing. Who cares? Like,
yeah, dude, I get that question a lot. Is like, how do I start drawing, or how do I start like my art account or anything like that? And every time the bottom line is you just start.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I just started to start.
But a lot of people are starting for the end goal.
True.
They're starting to finish, which is like, why are you doing it then?
True. So in a lot of ways, when you do start something, when you starting on a path like this, when you do have a clear end goal, I feel like a lot of the times that could be a negative and like could cloud your judgment because you're so focused on, like, for example, money or the opportunities or the fame.
Yeah, when I started this podcast, it was just to hold myself accountable because I couldn't perform stand-up during quarantine. All I did was talking to open mic comedians about their feelings. And then episode like 13, I had Hologram on, who I just DM'd. Wow. I'm the only interview he's ever done, and he said yes as a bit. He said yes as a bit because he thought no one would ever watch this open mic comedians podcast. And then he debuted his DJ Muggs album. And I got this feeling of debuting a DJ Muggs album because I loved rap so much that I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And that led to this. So that's when really when I got the West Side Gun cover, that's why I felt sad. But then I realized that wasn't even my beginning goal. My beginning goal wasn't even rap. Like, my beginning goal was to hold myself accountable. So why the fuck would I not do that?
Yeah. Wow. That's a good story.
It's crazy. But you and I
fuck
actually...
with Hologram, too. He's great.
I never even thought about it like that until you said what you're saying. Yeah. That you just started it to do it. Because that's what you got to do. You can't start with an end goal.
You can't, like, that. If I had an end goal, I feel like I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am now. Because I would be, I don't know, for example, if my end goal was to be a cover artist for rappers, I would start doing like I would start the account by doing like bullshit covers for like anybody.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't allow me to let my artistic like talent and style grow, because I'd just be focused on like cover art. You know what I mean?
Why did you finally take yourself seriously though?
I still don't take myself seriously at all.
I fuck with that answer. You know what I mean. Why'd you start like the Instagram
I feel
account?
like, cause so in high school, like early high school, early to mid high school, I was doing kind of what I'm doing now, but just to a lesser degree. For example, I did a cover for a Lil Uzi Vert feature, in like, what was it, 2019, 27, I don't know, 2017, somewhere around there.
Who was it for?
It was for Uzi's hometown friend. I think he went by K Gibbs. He got a feature from Uzi because they were just boys their whole lives. And he like tweeted that he needed a cover. I DM'd him some shit and he liked it. He like kept in contact. And then he ended up using it. And the song came out and it was I felt like the man, obviously. Like I was so young, and Uzi was like my favorite artist at this point in my life. And like, like I said, I felt like I was on top of the fucking world. And then the song just disappeared. Like I don't know what happened. I think it got taken down from like sample clearance or something. But it just got off streaming, and like that thing, the one thing I had was gone. But yeah, so I've been doing like covers for a long time. But I finally took myself seriously when people I really listen to nowadays started showing me love, I guess. And when a lot of like my friends and family started to notice what I was doing.
Yeah. You always knew?
No. No way. In high school I definitely knew I wanted it. Like I think I said to many people in high school that like my dream job was to be like an artist for musicians, or like make cover art. So I always knew that I wanted it, but I didn't know it was gonna happen.
When you were like a kid, you were like, but I want to be an artist though?
Yeah, my whole life.
You were born with it?
I don't think anybody's born with it.
You don't?
No. I think
you don't think you're born
to
with
an
the
extent.
want?
I think you're born with creativity and like an eye for what looks good, stuff like that. But in terms of like talent and being able to like draw well, I think anybody can draw well if they applied themselves, or like just practice every day.
I do agree with that, but I don't agree with like, why were you born to be an artist and why am I born to be a comedian? Like, why do I love that so much and why do you love that so much? Yes, it could be from moments in our childhood, but
you know what I think it is? I think it's letting us indulge in the parts of ourselves that we like the most. Or like, for example, I feel like I'm an artist because when it really comes down to it, it's to do with attention and getting that feeling of recognition that I made something that people think is good. That like obviously feels good. So I feel like it just the paths we choose just reflect types of people we are.
But not you as a person, because you as a person, you don't put yourself out there as a character. You put your art out there, and your page is literally just your art. There's no pictures of you.
That's a good point, actually. But
like, have you ever done interviews before? Or is there any other?
No,
See, like this is it
is weird. Yeah, you're right, because I never really like recognize the fact that people don't know me, or like don't even know. I've posted myself on my story a bunch of times.
Yeah,
but you're right. My page is just my art. So
it may be the back of you on a whiteboard.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yo, that whiteboard shit's crazy.
Thanks, man. I love doing that.
That shit is that's the thing. I think I loved your art, but when I saw a drawing, I was like, "That's dope as hell," and I was like, "What the fuck? That's on a whiteboard?"
It's awesome. I love doing those, and it for me, people like you said, like get impressed that it's a whiteboard, but to me, it's easier honestly than like drawing on paper and because I could change shit. So if you watch my time lapses, I feel like a fraud sometimes, dude. I'm erasing and redoing it for like hours before I finally get something right.
How long does it take you to do one? Like that Drinking 21.
Drinking 21 one was like 6 to 8 hours.
Are people like standing around watching you while you do it?
I think so. I think so. I have my headphones in every time I do it, and I'm just sometimes people come up to talk to me, but people tell me that people watch me, but
you're in the flow state.
I am.
Yeah.
I think it was my aunt who asked me. She was like, "Don't you feel like you're gonna fuck up if you like have so many people?" Because where I do it in the library, and on like a pretty popular floor of the library, so there's a lot of people in there all the time. And she was like, "Don't you feel like you're gonna mess up in front of a lot of people and like be embarrassed?" But I never think about it. I'm just drawing because I am fucking up. If you watch me draw, I'm not that good a lot of the times.
But you are that. No, that's stupid as hell to say because you are that good by the final product. It doesn't matter what the journey you took to get there. Yeah. It's not like you fuck up and then someone else comes in and corrects your shit.
Imagine if I just gave up every time. No, fuck this.
Every time lapse just ends with you like kicking it over.
I just do time lapses of incomplete drawings. Me drawing until I just mess up.
I think what is more impressive, maybe it's easier to you, but I think what's impressive is that you create something beautiful that is just gone. Like maybe you get a picture of it, but it's gone forever. And that is the beauty of it.
Yeah, I agree. And the one that I'm the most proud of, the one that I loved the most, got erased the quickest. It was the one that was alive for the shortest amount of time. It was like 4 days maybe, and some of them have been up for, some of them haven't even been erased since I started doing the whiteboard drawings. I think there's one that's been up there for like 8 months or so, and it's just so ironic that the one I loved the most.
Which one was it?
Blonde by Frank Ocean. But that one hurt.
That one hurt.
I said there's beauty in the erasing, but that I couldn't find beauty in that.
Really?
That one fucked me up.
That is crazy. It's crazy to create. Like Isaac Paleo does the like dried food on a plate. Have you ever seen that?
Or like his napkin drawings.
Yeah. Or he's
amazing, man.
He'll spray hot sauce and let it dry on a plate and like chip away.
Holy shit!
And so but it's like you wash that dish and it's done. You can't keep that.
I like that. That's
there
cool.
is some. I think that's the beauty of stand up for me. Is like maybe I can record it and put a set out, but every night it's that night.
Yeah,
it's not like a song.
That's the only way
in
to
the
really
studio.
Experience it. Yeah.
Like. It's you saw me that night. That's how my mood. Yeah. That's it.
That's cool.
It's in the moment.
Yeah. That's the only way to really experience a stand-up act is obviously to be there. Because you can bounce off of them or like feed off of their energy.
What made you choose the like you said you painted when you were younger, and I ignorantly before we started said like, oh, you're painting, but of course that's what I meant. I know. But for my own, the medium is just the iPad and the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't have the attention span to paint. I really want to paint. And I feel like if I do start painting or doing more physical work, I feel like I'd get a lot more respect as an artist, honestly. Because digital art is looked at so differently, I feel. And it's like people, especially with AI art nowadays, like that's coming out now, and people think it's like, I don't know. I've heard like the phrase that like digital art isn't real art. So I would definitely like to start painting. I just I don't find the time to like just sit down and really, because when you paint, you gotta paint for a long time. I just chip away at my digital pieces for like months, weeks at a time. I'll like just do work for like 20 minutes at a time throughout a long time period. So like painting is like a time commitment for me.
How do you feel about, like, of course you think digital art is art, but how do you feel about, I guess then, like AI art and everything?
AI art is bullshit. I hate AI art. It's because they're like the whole argument against it is they're taking other artists' work as like the inspiration for what their output is, and they're just taking direct elements of artists' work. So it's just using their work without permission, obviously.
See,
and it just looks shitty, dude. It's not good art. And if you look closely, there's so many like discrepancies and it's hands. If you look at any AI art and I don't know AI art, that's a tongue twister.
Say that 10 times fast.
Could not.
AI art.
I need an Adderall if I want to do that. But yeah, look at the hands in any like AI art, and they're fucked up every single time. It's funny.
One, when everyone was doing that AI art shit, I didn't really pay attention to it. Like, I didn't care about it. But two, like, I didn't even know that digital art, this might be ignorant, but I didn't know digital art was looked down upon in the art world.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. Like,
well, how is that any different than, like, sculpting is considered an art? Or, like,
exactly, dude.
I don't know. Or cutting shit together and putting it, like...
I don't know what it is. I feel like maybe because people think it's sometimes traced, which obviously some people will trace.
But couldn't I put a piece of paper over that and trace it?
Exactly, and then you could put that in a in a museum, and I don't know. It's weird. There's like I feel like nowadays it's better. Like people recognize that digital art is real art, but I don't know. I'm not saying it's a big problem. It's not like.
Do people like hate on you for it?
No, nothing like that. It's just like I recognize that. For example, the Griselda cover. Actually, no, never mind. I was gonna say they're usually all physical, like works, but I'm wrong because that's digital.
He created that on an iPhone 5.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. That's one of my favorite covers.
And it was like iPhone 8s were out, but Seppington literally just had like an old iPhone and did it on that.
That's crazy. But oh yeah, and the West Side Doom cover.
Oh yeah,
another amazing cover. Well, yeah, no, I was gonna say like I don't see a lot of like physical, digital like covers, but that's not even you know what? Never mind. I guess I'm contradicting myself because my covers are digital and I've put them out. But
it's funny. The Droog cover looked more like your whiteboard art than any of your other shit.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like because it was so simple. It was just black, except for the red and the flower. But I like that cover. I think that's one of my favorite ones I've done. Do you listen to Droog?
Yes, I do. Yeah, really? And I listened to that album and I recognized your cover from that, even though it was different than all your other artwork.
That was a fun one to work on. You think it's different?
Yeah, I do. I want to ask you, like I asked before, but I really want to get into like where your inspiration comes on an energy level. But first, you said you have 5 artists that you look up to.
Yeah, I have 5 to 10 maybe, but I'm not like a huge art history buff. I can't name you like periods or like like people who influence certain style. I don't know. I just have like a very specific list of people like I really like, and I'm just kind of obsessed with their work.
Dude, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
I don't think I listened to more than 3 rap interviews in my whole life. I just loved rap music.
Really?
Like I didn't listen to interviews. Like I just liked the music. Yeah.
What interviews did you watch out of the 3?
Honestly, like Joe Rogan and Mark Maron were probably the only 2 people I ever heard interview anybody.
Do you still not watch interviews?
Nah.
Oh.
I like what I like. That's why I think it works, is because this is so different than anything else because I don't know what I'm doing.
It's fun to do something that you don't know.
But that's why I'm wicked inspired hearing your shit, because I feel like we came to it with the same mentality, but you had been doing it since a kid. Like I'd been listening to podcasts, but not like rap interviews.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. But I had wanted to do it since I was a kid, but for a long time, I just didn't see it as a possibility.
What type of kid were you?
I drew a lot as a kid. The things I started doing when I was young were like comic books and like making my own comic books and like little stories. But I don't know. Nothing out of the ordinary. I was pretty shy, I guess. But art wasn't like a big thing to me for a long time. It was just something that people told me I was good at. You know what I mean? I didn't like really take it to heart and be like, I'm an artist. I'm like, it was just like something I recognized that I had talent in, I guess.
When did it become a big thing to you?
Probably recently, honestly. Even in high school, like I said, I was doing it. I was doing the thing I am doing now to an extent. I had an art account before Kightek. That was really small. I was like I started with this one. I was just doing it for fun. But I didn't like recognize this as like a real opportunity in my life, you know what I mean? And I wasn't really big into music yet, so I didn't have that drive to like, for example, like when I started getting the opportunities, like then I got the push to like, oh shit, if I could do Fahim, I could do Gun one day. I could do like, I don't know, somebody like Rome or Stove God. So I think I started to take it seriously when I guess when those opportunities started to come. Because before that, it just kind of felt like a hobby in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the end goal is to make like art like a full-time living.
But it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it is.
What do you go to school for? And I still want people listening are probably freaking out that you didn't give your list. So I know that's on their mind. But what do you go to school for?
So I keep rambling, dude.
Nah, dude, I do too. I don't know. This is a conversation, not an interview.
True.
What do you go to school for?
Right now, technically illustration and animation, but I'm planning on switching over to digital media and design because it's just more focused on the things I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
which would be easy to overlap. But I don't want to be an animator. That sounds like hell. Yeah,
no. Do people know who you like? Do people in your department know who you are?
I honestly don't know. I'm not,
because you probably have a bigger art following than even most of the professors.
Maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you that is true.
Really? Then that's definitely cool. But I don't know. I don't know if they do. I know like one of my professors does, but I don't tell people about it. If they do find out, it's just through the grapevine, I guess. 'Cause I don't think I've ever outwardly told somebody. Do
you have siblings?
I do. I have an older sister.
Okay. See, I'm an only child, and I think that's why I just want to tell everyone everything. Like, yeah. You don't...
I do want to do that to a certain extent,
but you don't post your face. You don't tell the people around your school. Like, you like...
Yeah, but I recognize that I'm like that in different ways. Mm-hmm. I still post myself a lot on, like, for example, my personal Instagram accounts, or like... I feel like I post myself on Kightek's story.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's too much. But yeah, so it's interesting that you say I'm not like that, because I feel like I'm overtly like I post myself too much.
Really? That's so funny, because I see it as the opposite, because I see myself as doing that.
Really?
And I'm like, you're not doing what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, but you need to post yourself. You know
I guess. But yeah.
I do want to post my. It'd be cool to like, because people tell me they just don't know. Like you said, they just don't know what to expect from me. And I've had somebody tell me that they were intimidated to talk to me because of my art account, because like they think I'm like, people think I'm like some sort of like snobby. I don't know.
No one knows what to expect, but I'm not telling you what to do, but I think you're a dope enough personality that you shouldn't be scared. Not that you are, but like you can push that and it would work for you.
You think?
Yeah.
That's good to hear then. I might. I've had.
You're
people,
also in college. Like when I was in college, I didn't want anyone knowing who. Like I didn't want to do like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I was like, if they find out, but it's like, who gives a fuck?
I get the like people knowing who I am in different ways because, like I said, the library, I do the drawings there and like people know that I'm the one who does them, and so I get that type of like gratification.
I usually can't speak either. I'm not that stoned right now, so
really,
yeah.
But yeah, so I get that type of like feeling in other ways. So I feel like I don't need to post myself. I don't like feeling like that though. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, because I feel like if I lean too heavy into like the attention aspect of it, I'm losing the authenticity of my art in a way.
How about your family? Do you tell your family about it?
Oh yeah, my parents are so into everything I'm doing.
Really?
Yeah,
so that's cool.
It's awesome. They know about everything that happens. Like my mom is the first person I tell about any opportunity. But and a lot of my friends, like everybody I know in real life, typically knows about Kightek and like what's happening. But yeah, I don't post myself because I don't want it to be about myself. You know what I mean? I want it to be about
what you
art.
create. Yeah. All right, what's that list?
Before
shit. People have an aneurysm.
No, my favorite artist of all time is easily George Condo. I feel like people have said I'm a ripoff of him, but in a way, because they see like the multiple faces and stuff. But I think I'm so far removed from George Condo. I think he's a genius. Second one is Ralph Steadman. He did Huncho Jack Huncho cover. You know that. Third, even like modern guys like I don't know, like Isaac Paleo. The list is very loose. I don't have like five set ones. Mariella, like you said earlier, she's amazing. Francis Bacon, another big one. Picasso, and that goes without saying. I feel like anybody's influenced by him. I'm blanking. But yeah, those are the big ones. George Condo, I think, is like the one. If I had just like pinned it down to one, I'm influenced by.
Do you remember the first time you knew who he was?
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album cover. One of the best covers ever.
All the pieces he did for that.
Amazing, dude. I feel like
I remember when Power first dropped, and I think that was the first single.
Yeah, and that's one of the most like iconic covers ever. I feel like they should have used a different painting. I don't know. I feel like the one that they ended up going with was like one of my least favorite out of the bunch that he did, which is funny. He's incredible, and he did work for Travis last year, I think. He's all over the place. He's done work for a lot of people, but it's cool. He showed me that it's like possible to be fully immersed into like the hip hop scene while still being viewed as like a prestigious and like real artist. Like he's up there. Like people talk about him with like the greats.
Is that what you want?
I know it's impossible for me. I'm
Why?
not, because I don't see my art as I do fan art basically. You know what I mean? I don't create real like original pieces with like stories and emotion in them. I don't think.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I know that I make art and like that it's people consider it good art, but to me it's not the truest pure form of art, which is to do what somebody like George Condo does.
And you don't want to get there someday?
I do, but I'm not at that point right now. Just because I don't.
You're 20 years old.
Yeah, I
And you
hope I
probably
get
look
there.
at yourself as too old. Like you wish you started younger,
Yeah,
but
man.
everyone does that. Like,
True. Hey, Jay-Z was selling crack till he was 27.
yeah.
So, you know.
Like not to disrespect Squat, because Squat's one of the most amazing, and I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like he had a full flooring business in the middle of nowhere, Australia, and he's doing that shit. Like,
Wow. Do you know what Kip does?
Kip owns his own like landscaping company.
Wow. That's really cool. So both of them have just like normal ass lives.
Literally, bro.
I want to make this my full-time living. Hopefully, ideally. That'd be awesome, because then I feel like I'm not the type of person who can balance those two aspects of life, and I respect them.
But you also
now that you mentioned that, that's crazy. I've gained a lot of respect for them, but
you don't want to be like the cover guy.
you know what? I've seen, for example, Bernard talking about he doesn't want to be the cover guy, and right now I feel like I'm fine with that. I like doing covers. I think it's a very underappreciated aspect of like the music industry.
I think it's starting to come back.
I do think so too, but for a while, like I felt like they weren't thought about carefully enough by a lot of like big artists, and it just resulted in a lot of like shitty covers.
I think it's ignorant
And I
because
hate
I'm
shitty
just
covers.
in this scene. Yeah, I hate shitty covers too. I even but I like a cover that's shitty on purpose.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Like Lil B covers.
Oh yeah.
Hilarious,
yeah.
And not that I'm saying it's shitty, but for example, like Savage Mode 2, not shitty, but like a play on like graphically bad, like
like
bad
old
graphic
Project
design.
Pat shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I love that.
I love
shit.
stuff like that. It's you
Like the
need to-
old Gucci era of the
oh my
original
God, so
covers.
funny. Dude, the one of him like as Buzz Lightyear or something.
Yeah, bro, I love that.
Or,
Shit.
have you seen the cover of a goat giving birth to a baby goat, and his
Oh
face is
yeah,
on
Band
some
Money,
crazy shit
Kevo
like that.
or something.
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah, or like old Dolph, like Rich Crack
Yep.
Baby, where it's him.
Dude, yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
That's so funny. But yeah, if you lean into bad art,
Yeah,
it could
but
make-
no, when it's like, I do get what you mean.
it's cool. It's funny how that can work out. Like you do something that's purposely bad, but it ends up having like an authentic quality, and a lot of them become iconic because of how like bad they are.
What do you think
fun.
makes an artist or a piece good?
Ooh, that's tough. If it feels like, I think the best word to use is authentic, because I feel like you could see a lot of art that's like technically good in terms of skill, and like they can draw well, but it feels like just a reflection of another artist's work. Draw or paint well. So I guess a lot of it comes down to just having like a very unique style. Because I feel like if you're in the art world, you can very easily spot like running motifs within artist work that like you could tell are coming from a certain artist.
Where do you think authenticity comes from?
Life and having your own experiences that you can like reflect through your art. If you're just stagnant in your life and you're not experiencing any new things, you're not gonna put new things into your art. If you're not doing, you know what I mean? If you're not like pushing yourself, and not in art but in real life, then you're not going to push yourself in your art, and you're not going to find new inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, you got to experience new things to create new things.
Yeah. You can't be content.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about before, about not being happy with your shit and how you have to.
Yeah.
You just can't be content with it.
Which is tough sometimes, because I want to be content with, like, because what right now I try to recognize that what I've done is what I've always wanted to do, and like I've done things this year that like I thought would have never happened. So it's a tough balance between like appreciating those moments, but also wanting a lot more. Because it still doesn't feel like enough, which is tough to deal with.
What will make you inspired to stop this break that you're on now?
School.
When you're done with it?
Going back to school.
Going back to school.
Yeah.
So you use it as like an outlet.
Yeah. And it also my home environment, I can't create it. I don't know what it is. I can't find time to just like sit down by myself and draw or do anything. Because I feel like when I'm at home, I try to experience like life at home to the fullest, and kind of like let myself just kind of take a step back.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely school. Wanting to draw in the library and like get another whiteboard drawing up. Because those are like therapy to me.
Yeah.
Like the feeling of the marker on that whiteboard is just, I could do it all day.
Have you ever gotten in trouble for doing that?
No, they love it. It didn't work out, but last year the library asked me to do an exhibition of the whiteboard drawings. Never worked out, but hopefully one day. But yeah, I thought I would get in trouble. I think some people get pissed, like I take up a lot of the whiteboards, but I mean that's why somebody erased one. But I don't know. I can't get pissed when people erase them. You know what I mean? Because I know what I'm getting myself into.
You're doing that on purpose.
Yeah, and it's
like a sandcastle.
Exactly. So it drives people to appreciate it in the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you know that it could be gone.
What did you want to do after school before you started?
I had no idea. You know what's funny? I wanted to be an actor, actually. But I wasn't pursuing acting at all. I was like, there was no, I wasn't, I've never been in any type of like musical or play. And I've never even tried to act, but like,
bro, I feel you though. I went
but it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I went into school to be a filmmaker. I'd never made films before, and I wanted to say this because I was thinking about this the other day. I was high as hell, and I was thinking about how like, damn, I really did want to be a filmmaker, and my first teacher sucked. I brought him the directors I liked, and I was like, I want to make films like these guys, and he was like, I don't like them. I'm not gonna do it. And it like made me so upset that I stopped.
Really? Damn.
But that's not really my dream if that's what made me stop.
True. Yeah. That's funny.
Like if that was really the thing where I was like, oh, it's over, I'm done, then that's not really what I want.
Because you probably have faced rejection doing what you do now.
Bro, I've lost like 6 of my... I lost an episode with Rick Hyde. I lost an episode with Love Boat Luciano. I lost an episode with Knox Beats, who's Token, Chris Webby's.
How do you lose them?
The audio got fucked up. I now backup record all my audio. I lost an episode with Justin Clancy. I lost an episode with these like 6 strippers that I interviewed.
Oh, come on, dude.
And that was the best one.
That would have been the best one?
That was the best one.
How could you? And you didn't quit after that?
I didn't quit after that. I get to talk to the strippers again now. So.
Hell yeah.
You ever lost a piece of art doing digital?
You know what? I don't think I have. Which, thankfully, I would lose my mind. But surprisingly, I haven't. The iPad is very good about, and Procreate, the app I use, is very good about like saving.
Whenever I hear Procreate, I just think it's like an anti-abortion thing.
Right? It's such a weird name.
Yeah. I'm like, what is this right-wing art app?
It sounds like a porn website.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. It's a weird name for an art app.
Procreate, right?
The fuck? It's a great app though. I literally like, it's like $5. It has like everything you could ask for.
You ever delete a piece of art angrily and then be like, God damn it, I wish I didn't.
You can't. Yeah, you can't recover them on that app, which sucks. That's happened to me so many times. But you know, I feel like every time I've done that, the second go is usually better. So works out in the end.
What is your? I guess you already said it, but like, what to you is the craziest thing that you've done?
Probably the Mavi cover, or just the fact that it ended up in Rolling Stone, which is just like a dream come true.
Have you met him?
I've not met him. Hopefully.
You did his album. I mean, his tour poster too.
I did.
Right?
Oh yeah. That was fun. That was the first thing I've done like that. So that was a cool experience. But yeah, I hope I can meet him one day. I'm going to see him on tour.
Which date?
Buy tickets. Everybody should go see him. I forgot. It's in May. I'm going to New York.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, man. Hopefully I can meet him. That'd be awesome. He's from what I know of him. We've been texting, so he seems like a really, really nice guy.
Do you have, other than West, what artists do you want to do work for?
So many.
Let's say not the huge names, not like Travis.
There is no huge names. You'd be surprised. I don't want to do covers for like. What I was saying earlier. Quick side note. I was saying earlier about my old pieces getting a lot of love. I feel like a lot of big names have shown love to the older pieces, and my newer pieces are getting more attention from the underground guys. So, like for example, the biggest person I've done work for happened within like the first 6 months of Kightek, which was Jetson Made, the producer.
What did he use your artwork for?
He just asked for a drawing to have in his studio.
Oh, word. That's crazy.
I just drew a picture of him, and I ended up sending him two canvas. Like I did it digitally, like printed a canvas out, sent it to him. He posted a picture with it. I think he archived it, but so that was cool. But yeah, what I was gonna say is like the biggest names that I've gotten attention from have been from old, and Kid Cudi, like probably the biggest name that's recognized me ever, was a piece I did very early on. The nudie profile picture, a piece I did very early on. So it's weird. It's like the bigger names are showing love to the older work.
Why do you think that is?
I feel like it's because they're more accessible in a way, and they're more like simple and vibrant. There's a lot of vibrant colors in them. More cartoony. I guess that appeals to, I guess, just a wider net of people. And yeah, it's weird. It's really weird to me. But what was I saying before the side note?
Damn, I interrupted you and I apologize.
No, I interrupted myself. What was I going to say?
About bigger people, or was
that who I want to do work for.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So besides West, dude, it's small guys like Starker. Starker is like right now my favorite rapper, or like even somebody like Davino, SD Knack. I would love to do a cover for him. Any guy, like anybody in that scene. Makami is a dream, because his just whole aesthetic is so cool. I'd say other than West, Makami is like the biggest one, but yeah, man, like just anybody in the scene is always like a really cool feeling. But
Starker gave me one of the OG sketches that he did, like the Peace Flag God, like stuff, and I got to see, dude. Davino has the Peace Flag God cover, like stacked behind 4 pieces of art, like just
no way,
like literally
not even hung up.
Not even hung up, not even the first artwork in the
I think that's cool as shit.
Like literally it's like the 4th in, and I was looking through them and I was like, wait, is this the original cover? And he's like, oh yeah, I need to send that to Wes sometime. Bro. He just doesn't even like give a fuck.
That's really cool to me. That just I don't know, that just shows a certain level I'll go back to the word like authenticity. Like it's just like another piece to him. It's just But to me, dude, I love that cover.
I do too.
And dude, that's crazy that he has it stacked. That's so badass.
Like when he gave me that art piece that he gave me, he literally was like, oh yeah, I should give you something. And he just walked over to like just a random pile, didn't even look at it, just picked it up and
it was one of the original sketches.
No, I mean the Davino, that scroll one he gave me.
Crazy
too. He just like grabbed that and gave it to me. I was like,
he's a great artist,
incredible artist. Yeah,
he doesn't get the respect he deserves as an artist.
No,
obviously because he doesn't push that so much.
But he doesn't care.
He doesn't care, and I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah, that's the authenticity. Is people can tell when you're trying too hard.
And I think I try too hard.
See, you definitely don't try too hard.
I don't know. Because I'm my biggest critic.
I think you try too hard because everyone around you who's your age doesn't try enough. But once you get out into the real world, you'll realize that you are not a tryhard.
I like that. That's a good perspective to have. I recognize, I guess, parts of myself that like do it for the attention, I guess. Because like no matter what, there's no denying that like getting a big placement on like the album cover, like Mavi, that like it feels good. It's like it's very gratifying. So it's I tell myself that I don't love the attention and like I got to keep like the art like authentic as possible.
But you can love it and still want to push yourself.
Yeah, true. But yeah, that's definitely like a motivating factor. I try to ignore like thoughts of that nature. That's why, like I said, like I don't post myself, or I don't, because I don't want to start feeling like I'm in it for the following.
Mm.
And I think that's what keeps Davino's art, for example, so cool. Is like he's not doing it for anybody or anything. He's just doing it to make art, and it's cool as art.
You have like it's like an itch.
Yeah, it is. I said when I'm home I don't draw, but like when I'm up here and I'm not drawing for a long time, it just feels wrong. When I'm at school, I'm usually drawing like every day because it is an itch. And I think it goes back to what we said earlier about like what makes you a comedian and what makes me an artist. It's like a need to create, I guess.
Yeah, a need to create, and it's not based off of what others want, but it does feel nice.
It does. It definitely does. But I try not to make art based on what other people want, but to an extent I have to, because if I want to maintain the opportunities and the success and like and even the money, like making it into a full-time living, I need to a certain extent, appeal to what my followers want to see, or like what I know a general audience would want to see. Because if I start making things too out of left field, like obviously things might like change for the success of my account.
Yeah. But look at Aldovino. CCV Vino is like some of the best shit ever, and that's
shit's
like
crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It could end up leading to like something fruitful, but it's hard to take that first, big step, obviously, for anybody.
Man, thank you for doing this. This is dope, man. As fuck. I'm really happy we got to meet. Of course, like
this is awesome.
This was awesome. I'm a huge fan of your shit, and I'm excited to like hear your story because it is inspiring as hell.
I appreciate it. I'm glad you think it's inspiring. Sorry.
And where can people find your shit?
At Kightek.
Do you sell prints or anything?
I do. I do them like every couple weeks. They're usually on my website, kightek.com.
Word.
But yeah, I usually post about them whenever I drop them. So
awesome. Everyone find his shit.
Thank you.
Come see me headline next comedy stop April 28th and 29th in Boston. Peace.
Yeah. Hey,